There are 5 things men over 60 keep quiet about. 5 things you'll never bring up at the barber shop, never mention to your doctor, and definitely won't discuss with your wife. And the silence, it's literally killing you. I'm about to say what you won't. And if I'm right about even one of these, drop a comment and let me know I'm not hallucinating. Now, here's how I know all of these. In my practice, I've been privileged to have men open up to me about things they'd never speak out loud anywhere else. Behind closed doors, when it's just us, the truth comes out. And when I cross-reference what I hear in my office with what men say anonymously on forums, it's the same confession, over and over. So let's start with a big one, the one you've been hiding the longest. You're lonely. Not I wish I had more friends lonely, deeply, painfully lonely. But you'd rather die than say that out loud, because what kind of man admits he's lonely? You've been independent your whole life. You've handled everything on your own. You don't need people hovering around you asking how you're doing, except you kind of do. Your wife passed, or you're divorced, or you're married but feel alone anyway. Your buddies moved away or died or just stopped calling. Your kids are busy with their own lives. You wake up and realize you haven't had a real conversation with anyone in days, maybe weeks. And when someone asks, "How are you?" you say, "Fine," because what else are you supposed to say? Actually, I'm slowly disappearing and nobody notices. Here's what you're not saying. You're scared. You're scared that if you admit you're lonely, people will think you're pathetic, needy, weak. But here's the truth you need to hear. Loneliness isn't weakness. It's biology, and it's killing you just as surely as smoking a pack a day. Multiple studies link social isolation to higher all-cause mortality, even if your blood work is perfect. You've Googled this at 2 a.m., haven't you? Male loneliness epidemic. How to make friends after 60. Thought so. Here's the fix. You need to rebuild social connections strategically. Join a men's group. Volunteer at a place where you'll see the same people weekly. Find one activity, woodworking, golf, poker night, and commit to showing up. Your life depends on it. I've made a full video breaking down exactly how to combat loneliness with a system that actually works. Link in the description. Watch it. But loneliness isn't the only thing you're hiding. There's something darker you won't name. You're depressed, but you'll never call it that. You call it tiredness. You call it getting old. You call it just not feeling like doing anything anymore. Anything but the D word. Because depression is for other people, weak people. People who can't handle life, not you. You've survived wars, layoffs, losses. You don't get depressed. Except here's what's actually happening. You wake up and don't see the point. You go through the motions but feel nothing. Things that used to excite you, projects, hobbies, plans, feel empty now. And some days you think about just not waking up. And then you feel guilty for even thinking that. You tell yourself it'll pass, that you just need to push through, that real men don't fall apart. But here's what you're not saying. You're terrified. You're terrified that if you admit you're struggling, people will think you've lost it, that you're becoming a burden, that you're not the man you used to be. Here's the brutal truth. Suicide rates in men 55 and older are far higher than women, and they climb sharply with age, peaking above 55 per 100,000 in men 85 plus. This isn't a rounding error, it's a crisis. And it's happening because men like you stay silent until it's too late. Here's what I need you to hear. If you're feeling hopeless, you're not broken, you're human. And there are solutions, therapy, medication, support groups that actually work. But only if you stop pretending you're fine. You'd rather rebuild a carburetor blindfolded than admit you need help with your mental health. I get it, but your life is worth more than your pride. If this hit home, comment below. Just say, I hear you. That's enough. Now, here's one you've definitely Googled in incognito mode. Things aren't working the way they used to. And I'm not talking about your back. You've noticed. Of course you've noticed. But you're not bringing it up. Not to your wife. Definitely not to your doctor. Maybe you've searched for solutions online at 3 a.m. when no one's awake. But you're not talking about it. Because what kind of man admits that? That's the ultimate failure, right? If you can't perform, what's left? Here's what you tell yourself. I'm just tired. I'm getting older. It's probably stress. It'll come back. Anything to avoid the reality that something's wrong, but here's what you're really thinking. You're terrified this means you're done, that you're no longer a man, that your wife will lose interest, that this is the beginning of the end. Now let me tell you something. As a urologist, erectile dysfunction isn't just about sex. It's often the first warning sign of cardiovascular disease. ED travels with the same risk factors as heart disease: hypertension, diabetes, inactivity, obesity, and it can precede heart attacks and strokes by years. So when you ignore it because it's embarrassing, you're not just accepting a bedroom problem. You're potentially missing a chance to catch vascular disease before it kills you. Here's the fix. Talk to your doctor. Get your cardiovascular health checked. Start with lifestyle changes: exercise, diet, stress management. Consider medications if appropriate. And yes, there are natural approaches that work. I've made several videos breaking down exactly how to combat this. Full details in the description. Watch them. Because this might save your life, not just your sex life. Now tell me, which of these 3 have you been hiding? Drop a comment. I won't tell anyone. But wait, there's one you dismiss every single night. Literally while you sleep, you snore loudly. Like a chainsaw. Your wife has mentioned it 10,000 times. She's recorded you. She's elbowed you awake. She's threatened to make you sleep in the guest room. And you've dismissed it every single time. I'm just a heavy sleeper. All men snore. It's not that bad, but here's what you're not saying. You know something's wrong. You wake up gasping sometimes. You're exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep. You nod off watching TV, reading, sitting in meetings. Your wife says you stop breathing at night, but you're not getting it checked because that means admitting there's a problem. And it means sleeping with a machine strapped to your face like Darth Vader, no thanks. Here's the reality. Untreated sleep apnea pounds your heart and brain every single night. Higher cardiovascular events, higher mortality. You're doing damage while you sleep. But here's the good news. Treating it with CPAP or other interventions is linked to lower all-cause death and fewer cardiac events. Translation: fix this and you buy yourself years. Here's what to do. Get a sleep study. Try CPAP. If you can't tolerate it, there are alternatives. Positional therapy, oral appliances, weight loss, even surgical options. Start with the basics. Sleep on your side, lose weight if needed, avoid alcohol before bed. I have a full video on combating sleep apnea naturally. Link in the description. Watch it. Then talk to your doctor. You'd rather tough it out than wear a mask to bed. I get it, but your heart doesn't care about your vanity. And now the final one. The one you've been blaming on everyone else. Everyone mumbles these days. Your wife speaks too softly. The TV is manufactured poorly. Restaurants are too loud. People don't enunciate anymore. It's definitely not you, it's them. Except it is you. You know it is. You've been asking people to repeat themselves for years. You turn the TV volume up until your wife complains. You nod along in conversations, even though you have no idea what was just said. But you're not getting hearing aids because that's something old people do. And you're not old. You're just having trouble hearing sometimes. Here's what you're not saying. You're terrified of looking old, of being seen as declining, of becoming that guy with the big beige hearing aids that whistle when you hug someone. But here's the truth. Untreated hearing loss is tied to faster cognitive decline and dementia. The Achieve trial showed that hearing interventions slowed cognitive decline by 48% over 3 years. 48%? That's massive. So when you keep tough guying it and refusing help, your brain pays the price. You're not just missing conversations, you're accelerating mental deterioration. Here's the fix. Get a hearing test. Try modern hearing aids. They're tiny, discreet, and some are invisible. Start with one ear if you need to ease into it. Or try hearing amplifiers as a gateway. If enough of you want a full breakdown on this, let me know in the comments. I'll make a dedicated video. Now, here's what I need you to understand. Every single one of these issues, fixable. Loneliness, fixable. Depression, fixable. ED, fixable. Sleep apnea, fixable. Hearing loss, fixable. But only if you stop hiding. Only if you admit the problem exists. You're not weak for getting help. You're smart. You're proactive. You're choosing life over pride. And I want to help you do exactly that. Every week, I send out a newsletter for men over 60, and here's what we do. We take 1 or 2 issues just like these, the ones you think about at 2 a.m. but never say out loud, and we break them down completely, not surface advice, real solutions, research-backed, actionable. We break it down so thoroughly that the problem stops being a problem because the solution becomes too real to ignore. The link to join is in the description and pinned in the comments. It's free. It's weekly, and it's for men who are done suffering in silence. Now tell me, which one of these 5 hit closest to home? Drop a comment about it and let me know which video do you want me to make next. Hit subscribe if this felt like I was reading your mind. Because I probably was. Share this with another guy who needs to hear it. Sometimes the best thing you can do for a brother is show him he's not alone. The man code says, stay silent. The new code says, speak up, get help, live longer. I'm Dr. Avery Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.